Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. My name's Barry.
And I'm Jay.
And together we are Matusu Crafts.
Welcome to our channel.
With a few extra grey hairs.
We're independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrators based in the UK. So if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, you'll be able to purchase current Stampin' Up! Products from our online shop. Do use the current host code, which can be found on our website at matusucrafts.com to receive a handmade card from us the following month, or any extra gifts if your order qualifies, in the form of tutorial bundles designed by the Stampin' Glam Squad and Global Creative Project, which is a PDF and video tutorial. For March 2022, the themes are Abstract Beauty Sweet and In the Garden theme from the Stampin' Glam Squad. And previous tutorial bundles that was for free are now available to purchase from our website, so check that out if you'd love to see more inspiration using different Stampin' Up! Suites and bundles. We give away the purchase that we create during the live streams, so don't forget to hit that like button. You do need to subscribe to our channel before you can comment on the live video chat, and you'll be put into the random draw. So before we give away this card, which I created on Sunday, we'll say hello again to those of you who have joined us.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Before we do that, we'll just let a few more of you come in, because obviously we have messed you around for half an hour, and I do apologise for the problems which we've been having, but we were trying some new things out, and we were trying to go multi-stream. We were trying to go to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. We think that it's the streaming to Facebook which has been causing the problems, because as soon as we just come to here straight away, fingers crossed, it's been fine so far. So we do apologise, and thank you all so much for sticking with us whilst we have our technical issues, but we will keep trying. But yes, hopefully we will be fine. Yes. But yeah, there's lots of links floated about now, so there's people which probably clicking on the wrong links, and yeah, so hopefully eventually you will find this one here. I'll get Jay to quickly, whilst I'm demonstrating, maybe you can go and delete the old YouTube Facebook posts, just so it isn't confusing.
Yeah, no, I'll try to find them.
Yes, that's good. So thank you very much for joining us. But yes, I think that's good. We've got a few of you in here now anyway. So
you just wanted more.
I do.
Names,
so if you want to win Jay's coriander card,
garnished,
Jay's card garnished with some coriander. Parsley or whatever it was. Obviously, if you watched the last video, you will know what we're talking about. Yes. And you popped a comment in on that video in the chat after it went live, then you will be in a chance of winning that one tonight. So let's say hi now to everyone.
So we have Valerie, hello, to Susan, Carol Ann, Sharon, we have Linda, Wendy, Chris, Kathy S, thank you, hello to Connie, Rita, Gian, Wendy, Judy, Debbie. Where am I?
Still jumps.
I didn't do that. Who else? Louise, hello to Jessel Dazzle Craft with Janice, Teddy Bear Stamping, Lisa, Angelina, Susan. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Nani Shasha, Stamping Star Creations with Esther, hello. Sandra, Kathy Crafty Session, sorry. Judy, Susan Wormley, we have Brenda, Monica, Denise, and Anita.
Lovely, thank you very much. So I was just saying that. So yeah, I was Connie. I saw your comment earlier on saying about the bandwidth. We may not have enough. Well, the company which we used and said that the bandwidth which we had was enough, but maybe it isn't. And I have up to just recently increased our bandwidth as well. But yeah, we will just stick. I think we will just stick with what we know, and that is here on YouTube. And I will continue sharing the links, I think, over on Facebook, and people can find us that way.
Maybe give it like a couple of months for the Facebook.
It's a new thing which the company which we're doing has introduced. So maybe they're having a few teething problems themselves with making it all work. So because when we just go straight to YouTube, most of the time it works since we increased our bandwidth.
Yeah.
So, so thank you all for sticking with us as well. Any new names come in there?
Tilly Cross, hello.
Lovely. So we are going to go over to the live draw for this card right here, for Jay's coriander card, garnished card.
Yeah. I don't think many people like herbs either. Right, good luck everyone. And the winner is Jackie Elliott. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Jackie. That card there is going to work its way over to you. So please message us details on the screen, or email us please, details on the screen, Barry and Jay at matusucrafts.com, and we will pop this card in the post to you. Please pop today's date, the 9th of March 2022, in the subject line, and your full mailing address, and please including country code, or country site, I know where I'm sending it to. Otherwise I have to search the address to find out. But yes, that card there, Jackie, is going to be yours if you would like it. So as mentioned in the description, we are going to be playing here with the Easter Friends stamp set. So we've got Easter coming up on the 17th of April, so it's not long away, not really, probably about 5 weeks away. So if you'd like it, this is a lovely little stamp set which you can get your hands on right now, and you can create yourself some stunning cards. And we've seen some lovely stuff with this already, and hopefully I'm going to show you 2 lovely cards with it tonight as well. And Jay has actually got a colouring masterclass coming up with this particular stamp set as well. Now, you're going to show anything at the end for that, Jay? He probably will, for a colouring masterclass. Some of the pictures which is showed out there already, stuff. So Liz, no, you didn't miss anything. We've come back over and we've started again. So hopefully, I haven't started yet. So hopefully you've caught the beginning of this. But yeah, so this is a stamp set which I am going to be working with this evening. So where do we start? These were going to be quite long cards anyway, and that was when I was going to start 40 minutes ago. But it's taken us 40 minutes to get this far. So what I'm going to do, card number 1 is I'm just going to take my basic card base. I'm going to take myself some thick cardstock. I'll go with that one there. So I may as well create my 2 card bases for both cards, because they're both going to be using the basic white thick. So I'm going to do that first. So I'll create my 2 card bases. So we cut our card bases down to 14.6, or which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 by 21, which is 8 1/4. I'll do both of those, so I've got the second card as ready as well. And then score both of those in half at 8.5. Did I say 8.5? I meant 10.5. I don't know what I said now. My head's all a fluster. So that's that one. My card bases are ready. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut myself. Now I'm going to be the designer series paper I'm going to be using. So I've got a very yellow theme this evening, because I think it goes well with the stamp set. And the DSP which I'm going to be using is actually the hand pen designer series paper, because it's got this lovely Daffodil Delight piece in here. So it's got this beautiful flat floral piece this side here. But I'm going to be that's too busy for what I want to use this for. So I'm going to be using this very kind of like just Daffodil Delight, but which has kind of got these different tones in it as well here, which it's quite subtle, so it works quite well with this particular card. So that's what I'm going to be using. So first of all I'm going to cut this down to size, and I want to cut this down to, let me just get my measurements out, 9.5 by 13.6 centimeters. So I'm going to take it to 13.6 to start off with, and we will then take that to 9.5. Okay, and that there is going to be a piece which is going to go on my cardstock like that. Then I've got myself some Daffodil Delight cardstock here as well. So what I need to do is I just need to cut myself off a bit big enough, which is going to be able to go into the cutting, which is going to take the die really. So I'm going to cut this down to 8.5. Because what I'm going to do, I'll take it to 9 to be on the safe side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the he says. I thought I had them out with me.
What you need? What you need?
Well, I did have them, but I don't know where I've put them.
What you need?
The Scarlet and Contour dies. Did I put them back?
Yeah. No, I.
There we go. Oh, Jay put them back. See, look, you heard it first. He's sabotaging me.
No, I didn't know that you were gonna use.
But luckily they were by the side of me. We got the tub by the side of me, so I didn't have to ask him for them. But I'm going to be using the scalloped and scalloped contour dies, and I'm going to be using this one. They seem to be a bit of a popular one for me at the moment. These ones.
You go in stages.
Yeah, I do. I have stages with anything. I don't. Does anyone else like that? Do you have stages of your card making where you just seem to just blitz it with one particular stamp set or die, and then just come out going to overkill?
I think you're using it.
Yes. So I'm just going to bring in our machine right here. Now I probably could have been using the little mini machine at the moment, but I haven't got that out and ready for me. But I have got the Jay kindly brought me the large machine.
It is next to you.
It is. But I'm going to use the small one here. I'm going to use the large machine here. And I'm just going to cut out this this die. I just like this one because you've got this nice scalloped edge, and you've got some nice stitching in it as well. See, just look how pretty that is. It's just beautiful, and the stitching on here is just perfect. So it's really, really nice. So that's what I'm going to use. So let's pop that to one side. And then I'm going to take some more designer series paper. So I'm going to grab my trimmer once again. So I'm going to grab a piece here. So I just need to just see if the offcut which I had from earlier on is going to be the correct size. So I need a bit here which is going to be 6.5 by 9.8. Now 6.5 by 9.8 is the size which is going to be able to fit in this bit here with the scallops inside that stitching. So if we take it to 6.5, which that is actually, which is quite handy, by 9.8, that then is going to sit in there quite nicely, and then not cover up. Please give you a nice border around there. So if you want to, want to do some matting layer in there, 6.5 by 9.8 centimeters, and that sits in there perfectly for those. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and stick these pieces down to my card to start off with. So I'm just going to stick my fold and burnish my card base. So thank you all for joining us, and obviously persevering with our technical issues. I will continue to try and find out why we couldn't go to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Why the technical issues? But I do appreciate you all coming back and sticking with us. So thank you very much. And for anyone who's watching this on the replay who gave up, who couldn't find us to start off with, thought, okay, that's it, no. They're not live, and thank you for coming back as well. Alright, so I've just gone and popped that in like that. So you probably know me, I like to go over slightly smaller because I like to show off the card. I like the white border or the coloured border if I'm using coloured cardstock. So that's why I don't like it when it's too close to it. I like this bigger border. I think it just frames it nicely. What are you laughing at, Jenny?
Nothing.
He's laughing at me, everybody. Are you laughing at me? What did I say? Alright, so I'm just going to then go ahead and I'm going to stick the designer series paper down to this as well. Stick that in there, like so. And then I'm going to stick the whole thing down onto the flat down onto that. I could, you know what? I will stick this one up as a double dimension. Now, if it's too big for me for postage, then I'll send the original one out, which is in flat. But I want to see what it looks like when it comes up when I put this on double, when I double dimension it. So it's going to give it some double height. Okay. Because I tend to make 2 cards of everything which I make, so I like to make a prototype first before I do it, so I know, and then I've got something to follow. Whereas Jay's cards are pretty much unique because they're probably pretty much the only ones he ever makes of that particular style, because he just works, don't you, Jay, really? You just work on the...
most of the time.
Most of the time. It will be a unique card. So if you're ever lucky enough to get Jay's cards, then yes, they are pretty much a one-off most of the time, and they're on the fly as well, so he just does it. Whereas I can say I like to tend to I get my ideas from the internet and from other demonstrators, and then I have to then make it up myself, tweak it if necessary, and then I case myself again. So it's a great way of using up all of your supplies, I guess, when you're making 2 of everything, 2 or 3 of everything. So that's there.
We don't have anyone to send the second one though.
No. Well, Easter cards. Maybe we'll send some Easter cards out this year. We're card makers, but we're terrible at sending cards to people. The only people that actually get cards from us are you, the winners. Really, we don't really send them to anyone else, and that's when I actually do send them. I've got everything is ready for postage, so don't worry if you have one, and you've contacted us with your details. They will be on their way to you shortly. It's just that I wait for a while until I've got quite a lot, and then I do one big lump sum in one lump in postage. So there we go. So that's that one, and I've now put that on at a dimensional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab myself some basic whites. Let's grab myself some scraps from somewhere.
Basic white?
Yeah. I thought I brought the scraps over, but maybe I didn't.
No, you didn't. It's been here all along. You want it?
No, it's fine. I'll just use a fresh piece.
No, I think you use a fresh piece.
No, it's fine. I can use a fresh piece. So what I'm going to do, Jay's determined to make sure I get a point here already. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out a little circle. So I've got some of the layering circle dies here, and I'm going to take one of the medium ones, not the smallest. Now again, this will be decided dependent on your card and what you're doing, your mat and layers. So pick it and whatever you want to pop in the inside of it. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just cut this out here. So bring our machine over.
Gian asked, did you listen to Simon and Garfunkel?
No, I didn't actually. I had it queued up and ready to go, and then I think we got sidetracked. And but it's the name of the album, isn't it? Not a song. So if I'm right, or was it from what I could see? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little chicks. So I'm not going to be using the bunny on this. I'm going to be using the 2 chicks and a sentiment, and because Jay has a lovely colouring class coming up with the bunny. And I'm going to take some memento. Now I will be doing some colouring tonight, but it will be very basic colouring, and I'll be using the stamp set to help me out with its line art, which is obviously Stampin' Up! Are very good with doing their drawings and making them look very realistic, or without you having to do too much colouring. So I'm going to be using a memento here. Going to pop that down, and then that little fella is going to go like so. Why do you keep laughing at me tonight, Jay? Why?
Nothing.
Alright, and now I'm going to be using Garden Green, and I'm just going to stamp the grass at the bottom. Now, I did on my original one, or what I think when I was playing with this, I used a lighter colour and it didn't look right. So if you're going to do this and then stamp the grass, I think a darker colour works better for you, because then it looks like it doesn't look like the chick is floating, or is just it just looked odd. So I'm just going to use a darker colour, try and line up and guess where the base of the feet are, and then go over the top of it, and then bring it in like that. And then the darker colour I think works better than a lighter colour, because it almost kind of like now looks like it looks better. A lighter one just did not, in my opinion, work too well. So I would say go over darker green if you want to put some of your grass down the bottom. What I'm going to do with this one here is I'm going to pop some more dimensionals on the back of this one. and then I'm going to stick this onto the front of the card. So this is a really simple card you can do, because it's just matte and layering a bit of die cutting. So once you've got those done, now I just realised I actually haven't coloured the chick, so I'm going to have to colour this now before I do anything. So the colours I'm going to use is Daffodil Delight. That's it. And maybe I'll see, maybe some pumpkin pie for the beak and the feet. But I'm just going to go in with the light first. And I'm just going to literally just go all the way over. Nothing fancy.
There's an ad on YouTube, StreamYard.
Is there really?
Next to this. Next to the comment. It just makes me laugh.
So I'm just literally going to colour this in all over like that, and that works well just on its own with a little bit of just with one colour. But I am gonna just take this, I'm just gonna just try and elevate it a little bit more, and I'm just gonna, where these darker parts are, I'm just gonna go around and I'm just gonna be using some of the darker Daffodil Delights, and we're going in like this. I'm just scribbling it in, so there's nothing real. And then as the name says, blends. I'm going to use the light one again, and I'm just going to then blend out that darker colour. And that just gives us a little bit of, just hopefully a little bit more detail in it. Okay, and then I'll just use the dark pumpkin pie here just for the beak there, and then I'll just come down gently onto his little tootsies like that, and there you go. I think that's just some real simple colouring, some basic colouring which you need to do. You don't need to do much of it, let the artwork do the talking for you. Then what I'm going to do is, this is just going to go perfectly on the top here. We're going to go in like that, and there we have that. Okay, so we need to pop a sentiment on here. Now I am gonna heat emboss this, and then it will be fussy cut. Now I will say that Jay has kindly already done that for me, so I have already heat embossed it and fussy cut it out. But for those of you that don't know about heat embossing or fussy cutting and so on, I will do it for you just for demonstration purposes, which is good. Alright, so what you will need is, so I'm going to do this on some black. I'm going to be using an embossing buddy, and I'm going to be using some white stamping powder. And I'm just going to take something just to prime and just prepare your cardstock. I think especially on black and white. Black when you're using white powder, because it can stick everywhere. It's probably not so bad when you are fussy cutting it out, I don't think, because you're eliminating more the bigger surface area. But if you weren't fussy cutting out, definitely prime your prepare your cardstock. I'm going to use the Happy Easter and just going to go and stamp that down with some Versamark onto my cardstock. Now you can't see that there, but if I bring that up, you can probably just see there's a very faint, there you go, that's it. You can see there's a watermark there. So this is a clear sticky ink. Grab yourself a bit of paper to catch your powder, and then pour it on. Now I was a little bit nervous of this when I did it the first time, I thought, because it's a very thin line art, it's very thin sentiments and writing. I thought, is it going to stick to it? And it does. Okay. So that works quite nicely, and then we're going to grab our heat tool and we're just going to heat set that. and then we will fussy cut it. But I'm not going to fussy cut it out for you on camera because that just takes. It's a bit of a fiddly one, this one, because it's very fine. So it's not for. It's probably not something for anyone who doesn't enjoy fussy cutting. But if you do if you can persevere with some fussy cutting, it's definitely worth it in the end. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and heat set this now. Okay, and that there has now turned from a nice, from a matte powder to a nice shiny surface, which now won't come off. Okay, you can see there. Obviously I wasn't too worried about this, but I would have flicked this off before I had heat set this. But because this would have been fussy cut out, I'm not worried about that because you're going to get rid of all of that. So grab your good scissors and then go around and then fussy cut to the best of your ability, or you can, if you're lucky enough to have a J, then here's one we did earlier on. Okay. What we're going to do with this is we're going to get our dimensionals once again. And we will take your pick tool.
Is it not in the box? Were you using it earlier?
No, it's like, I got it out ready. Here it is. Gonna get you take your pick tool. Now Jay has actually cut this so well that that I've got no room to put any I've got no room to put any dimensionals on this. So I need some really thin.
Fold the mini glue dot.
Well, it's I just
Sorry.
need he's cut it so well. I need some real thin strips of dimensionals here. So this is where your end parts come out, and is enough for me to then just go over on this part, because I don't want it on the middle. I just want it on the two ends, because they're the part which is going to overhang the sentiment, overhang that chick. So then this one can go on the end of that. Okay.
Sherry said, do you have black dimensionals? We do.
We do have black dimensionals, yes, as well. Okay, so I could have used those to make that, but yeah, all you need to do is just pop it on the end parts, and then a little bit of glue just in the middle, like so, is all you need, just so when that sticks to it, and that then can then go over the top, like so. And those two dimensionals at the end then just stop that from, just hold that in place as well, and go on like that. And there is card number 1 for you right there. What do you think? I think that's nice, bright and cheery. Really, really happy with that. So, good card. Even if I do say so myself. Pat on the back. There we go. Okay, so that was the first one which I did, and this is the one which I didn't do on the dimensionals. So this is obviously the chick and the sentiment is on dimensionals, but I haven't popped the scallops one on dimensionals. I do personally prefer it once it's raised, but again, it's not really postage friendly when you do this. But we will see, and that there is those cards. So you can either take it 2 or 3 levels if you want to, or you can keep it a bit more flatter for postage. Okay, so good. I'm going to move on to card number 2 right now. So I'm just going to reset myself here quickly, give myself a little bit of room, as you do, because I can't craft in a mess. So what's everyone been saying down there? So hi Brenton, hi everyone who has joined us recently.
Maureen, Sylvia, Donna, Doreen, Teresa, Donna Gray, Pat, Sandy Nicolo, John, Carmen, Betty H, Lizzie's come back as well, Carol, Mary, as well.
Lovely. Thank you all so much for coming back and joining us. Or joining us for the first time, if you don't know what the palaver which we had to start off with. So, the what, sorry? The pavlova? No, palaver, not pavlova. See, I'm still saying it wrong. Pavlova. See, okay, everyone, my family take the mickey out of me because I say pavlova wrong. I say pavlova for some reason. Every time I say it, it's just natural, and they all just laugh at me. Does anyone else say pavlova, or is it just me that says pavlova? Mum, I can hear you giggling to yourself right now. Shush now. So, what we've got here is we've got ourselves our card base, which we prepared to start off with, and I'm going to take some more Daffodil Delight. I told you this is going to be a very yellow themed card this evening. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this down to size, and I'm going to cut myself. Actually, before I do that, I will cut that down. I'm going to cut my basic white down to size. So I'm going to cut this down to 9.5 by 13.6. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this one down to 9.6, 9.8 by, so I'm going 3mm bigger than what I would do. Now, my tip for you on this one is here. I'm going to be using the Pretty Flowers embossing folder. Now, this is a really detailed, it's not even a 3D embossing folder, but it's really, really detailed, so it's absolutely, it's lovely. But because there's so much detail, and naturally, you've got one piece of card, naturally, once you do it and you start squishing things, it's going to make it, it may make it a little bit shorter, and it does. So, I would normally go 3mm bigger, so remember this here was 13.6, so I would normally take my next layer to 13.9. But I'm actually going to bring it down to 13.8, and I'm going to compensate for the shrinkage, that tiny bit of shrinkage which you get on the paper to start off with once you emboss it. So because then that way it will hopefully then look okay. Because at the moment then that there I've got bigger sides than I have the top and the bottom. Can you see that there? But once I do the embossing, it's going to shrink this paper a fraction, and then I've compensated for it, so then it should then look all equal, he says. Okay, so just bear that in mind when you are working with embossing folders, that you do sometimes need to just compensate for it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the Pretty Flowers embossing folder, and I'm just going to then just run this through the machine here. So when you're compensating for it, 1mm is probably enough for you just to compensate. It doesn't, but there's so much detail in this. It's just beautiful. It's lovely. All right, so I'm just going to bring over our big machine again. I think this is probably why I had the big machine out to start off with when I cut everything else in it, is because I needed the big machine for this embossing folder, because these are too big for the mini. And this is a nice easy one because this is a standard one. All I need to use here is plates numbers 1 and 3, and it tells you on the plates what you need to use. Oops, sorry, just knocked the camera there. And then we just run that through. Just take that out. Is everyone laughing at my pavlova?
Yes, and when they said when things go haywire, it's gonna be always pavlova now.
But pavlova's the correct saying, isn't it?
No, but it's when things go haywire.
Oh.
What did you first say?
I can't remember. Oh,
Palaver.
it's gonna be no. What did I say? Palaver.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a pavlova. Sorry, I'm a bit slow this evening. My head's hurting. All right, so so then what we're gonna do is we will then stick that. Can you see now that my borders are now, where I was very thin at the top and the bottom, they are now equal, and that's just by compensating it for that extra millimetre. So if you're funny with things like that and you think, oh, I've embossed it and it's now the matte layer is wrong, compensate straight away by taking 1mm off of your original thing, and you'll correct that problem for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this piece directly down onto my Daffodil Delight cardstock. Okay, and that's the same with a lot of embossing folders you do, because obviously depending on how much detail, and this is for it not to be a 3D embossing folder, this has got a lot of detail in it. I love it. It's probably one of the best ones, which I don't use it enough actually, but it's one because it is quite a busy one as well. It is a beautiful embossing folder. All right, so that's that one. So that can get itself nice and stuck. I'm not going to stick it down yet because I'm going to work with everything first before I go ahead and stick it down. Okay, so I'm going to get some of my elements ready. So I've got myself a bit of scrap piece of Daffodil Delight, and what I need to do is I just need to cut this to probably around about, I'll take it bigger than I need, so I'm going to take it to about 3 inches, and I need it to be 1/2 inch thick. So I'm just going to pop it in a trimmer. I'm going to take it to 1/2 inch. And the reason I need it to 1/2 inch is because I'm going to be using that on a punch. So I'll come back to that in a moment. So that's about 3 inches by 1/2 inch, which is what I've got there for that one. And then I will probably be using another bit of scrap later on from the back end of this. So don't chuck this away. I'm going to be taking myself some basic whites. I'm going to be doing some more die cutting, and I'm going to be using a scrap of paper here. Is that big enough? Yes, that is actually. And I'm going to take, so this is another scrap piece of paper. So this here again is about 2.5 inches, just over 2.5 inches long. Actually, I will just take that down to 2.5 inches. So I'll just take off that sliver on the end. And I'm also going to take this down to about, I just need to measure this one on my original card for a moment, just bear with me. 3/8 of an inch I need to take this one down to, so a nice thin sliver on this one here. So that's 2.5 inches by 3/8 of an inch, so you've got that piece here. And that's all I need for those ones. I'm going to grab myself some scrap paper, and I am going to just grab some other dies, and the other dies I'm going to be using is going to be the Stitch So Sweetly dies, which is another firm favourite of mine. Okay, and I'm going to be using this one right here. So this, the layout of this card is actually a case from another demonstrator. Who did I say it was, Jay? Stesha. And it was a case from one of her cards back from another stamp set, I think from last year. And I come across it and I thought that layout works perfectly with this particular stamp set as well. So yes, this is my version of her case, but the layout is pretty much the same. I've tweaked it a little bit. I've put a few different tweaks and used a few different sets and dies. But it's just lovely, and I've really enjoyed making it as well. So I'm just going to pop this back in. Now again, if you've done some embossing first, you need to make sure you pop your plate number 2 back in to make sure it's the correct thickness. And we're going to cut this detailed banner or label out from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. Hi Tammy. Bye Tilly. Okay, so that there is that one. Alright, so we've got that, we have got that, and we have got that there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just grab my trimmer one more time, and I'm going to take off a tiny bit on this side over here. So I want to take off one side of this this die. Again, use your lines on your trimmer to help you make sure you've got that straight, and then just take that in, and we're just literally just taking off the end part there. Alright, so that's all we do. And then I'm going to grab myself this piece of DSP and I'm going to stick that to the bottom part of this here. So a little bit of glue down the centre down there. And then that's going to go on like that, and then just line up the edge so you've got it's nice and flat, so it's just like so. Right, then we will grab that sentiment again from earlier on. We're going to have the Happy Easter, and we're going to stamp that above that bit of Design Series paper. Okay, I'm just going to bring this down. Just going to probably come off camera a little bit so I can see. Yeah, you're just in there. There we go. And I'm just going to try and get that as straight as possible. Yeah, I just need to come off camera for a moment. Just bring that back up for you. Hold that in place and then stamp that down like that. All right. And that's that one. That's going to then go on over here like this. So I'm going to pop this onto some dimensionals. He says...
Did you see Angelina's message?
I didn't. I saw it, but I didn't actually read it. I couldn't read it. So what does it say?
No, I mean like, I think she meant email.
Oh yes, Angelina. Yes, I did see your. Yeah, no, you were the winner, Angelina. So don't worry. You were definitely the winner. If that's the message you're talking about.
That's what it is,
yeah. And that is all ready to go in the post for you. So that's there. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this on with some dimensionals right now. And that's going to go on. Don't need the card base there. And that's going to go on like that, and I'm going to line it up with the edge here so it's not covering out that, so it's not covering that layer, so you kind of got a continuation. So that there is like so. All right, lovely. Next piece which I want to do is I've got myself a punch here. So this here is the Banners Pick a Punch, which is why I needed it at the 1/2 inch, because the 1/2 inch is the perfect size to go into one of these. So it's 1/2 inch, 3/4 or 1, which is 1.3, 1.9 or 2.5 centimeters. So for the different sizes, and I'm going to use use this fishtail end here. I'm just going to pop that in, and I'm just going to then just cut myself out this fishtail bit like so. And then I just need to then cut this down to size a little bit more. So it's bigger than I needed, but it's around about it's probably around about 1.5 inches in total, which I need. Let's take it to 2 to start off with, and then I will then have a little look at the sizing. Yeah, that's too long down there, so I need to just take off a little bit more, take another 1/2 inch off, and I think 1.5 inches will then be sufficient, which is then going to go on the top like that. Now save this little part right here, because you may want to use that one in a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then stick this down flat onto the card itself, directly down onto the DSP, onto the embossing panel. And we will then just pop that over in that one like that. Just line it up with the top end of the card, and that gets stuck. Okay, whilst that gets stuck and I do something else, I'm just going to take my bit right here and I am going to stamp this duck. Let's see, have I given myself enough paper here? Yeah, there we go, it fits in there. So let's just stamp this fella up. And we will pop him in like that. And you've guessed it, I'm going to fussy cut this one out. But this is an easy fussy cut. This isn't too difficult. We'll just go around with the line, and we'll give ourselves a little white edge. But I'm just going to go round and just follow the angles. It's just like I knew the sentiment from card number 1 was a little bit of a tricky one to do, especially live on camera as well. And you kind of need to make sure you've got some good light when you're doing it, which we have. But because we've got this lovely light which we are demonstrating with at the moment, but unfortunately I've got a camera directly in the way, so it's a little bit harder. And this one is, again, I'm just going to go round and just follow the fur. I'm not trying to take it all the way up to it. I'm just following and leaving a white edge as I go round. Because it's going on a white card anyway, so the white edge just blends in. It doesn't need to be directly on the line, and I don't like it when it's on the line anyway. Yes, so far so good with our stream. So I think we've identified now the 2 issues, or the issue which it was causing. So, which is a shame. And there we go. And then that there has then just cut that little chick out like that. So we are going to colour this one right now. So I'm going to use the same colour blends as what I did with the first one. So I've got my Daffodil Delight and I've got my Pumpkin Pie. Same as before, just colour the whole thing in with the light. Like so. So anyone else there, Jay?
Yeah, that's those. We have Tammy, we have M. Wayman, Dana, Cindy, Gina, Cheryl. That's recently popped in and joined in.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Some few new names in there as well. I think maybe going live a little bit later is
yeah, I think because most new ones are from Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah, obviously I suppose with us going live a little bit later for everyone in Australia and New Zealand, you've got a little bit more time to wake up, I suppose. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dark and I'm going to do the same as what I did with the first one. I'm kind of going to use the shading which is naturally on here and just colour in, just scribble it in, and then I will then use the blend just to the light blend just to blend it out, but it just hopefully gives it a little bit of just a little bit of detail in there. But again, I think it's still, if you're not happy, if you're not confident with blending or colouring, it still works well because you've got the line art on here. It still works well on its own. It doesn't, you can take it to another level if you enjoy the colouring and you want to do that, then by all means go ahead and do that, but you don't need to. So we're just colouring that out, and then I'm going to use the, so just the light one is just softening some of that, and then we'll just use the dark Pumpkin Pie here just on the beak. There, and on his little feet right here. And that there is that one cut for you. All right, so we'll just leave that one to one side for the moment. I'm going to bring out, I can't believe I'm doing this again, I've got the baker's twine here. But I'm going to make this a little bit easier for myself. Okay, so I have got myself the medium daisy punch. What I'm going to do is I am going to, now you can use whatever punch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the centre of that banner at the top there, and I'm just going to then just bring up a little bit, just so a little bit of one of the petals is going through the cardstock, and I'm then going to punch and notch out.
Notch it out.
And then I'm going to grab my ruler, going to grab a pen, and then I'm just going to pop a mark down at the bottom down here where it's just a very, very tiny mark down at the bottom down there. It's enough for me to see it here. Enough so I can then line that up in the centre once again, and then give myself 2 notches top and bottom. I'm going to grab the lovely
What is it? Glue dots, Barry.
glue dots. Glue dots will come into effect, but I'm not tying a bow. I'm not tying a bow from this. It's just not happening. I'm sorry. It's just isn't that. It's not happening. So tear and tape, and we will then just stick that to the back over there like that. So that's holding that in place. I'm going to go round once through those notches and twice through those notches, and then I'm going to then snip it off, and then I'm going to then stick it down. Snip and stick.
Not hit and stick.
Not heat and stick, the snip and stick. That there has now given me a nice ribbon, which isn't going to move off your card because it is now notched in place. So all you need to do is find something, and I think the medium daisy punch worked well. Yeah. I'm sure there was some other punches which we had which were retired now, unfortunately.
Classic label one.
Classic label. I knew Jay had done this before at one point. Classic label was also another one for this one, which worked well. But obviously, just use that one there is a perfect fit for those. Now, I will tie a bow, he says. I see I can tie bows. I just can't tie them when they're on the card. I can tie them when they're in my hand, but I just can't do it when they're here. Okay, so I'm just going to do I'm going to make a right mountain out of a molehill on this one. See.
Nani Shasha's just said Barry bottled the bow.
No.
I think that was before you said you were going to do it.
Yeah, I'm still doing a bowl. I'm still doing a bow, but I'm not doing it on the actual thing. No, not again. Not live on camera, at least. I tried it off camera on the prototype and thought, no, this isn't working. If I'm struggling now, then that's what's going to happen when I try to get it on live.
What is it? Nail gun, Barry?
Rude.
You mean glue dot? Glue gun. Nail gun.
Alright, so I can tie bows, and I'm really happy with my bows. Alright. So we will then just snip off the tails like that. So we are nearly actually finished, and we're just going to put in all of the finishing touches onto this now. So if you would like a chance of winning that first card which I made, then do please pop a comment, say hi in the live comments right here. If you'd like a chance of winning this card which I've made, come back afterwards and just watch the replay again and have a little look. And pop a comment in where you would normally, how you would normally comment on YouTube, separate from live. Okay, and then we will be picking this winner on Sunday evening. So I've popped a glue dot on the back of that bow, And now that can then go over the top of these over here. And that there is how to get a bow on a piece of string without actually having the palaver of, or the pavlova of of trying to tie it on the whole thing like that. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, just go back and watch one of our previous videos where I tried to tie a bow live on camera and it wasn't very fun. Alright, so we are now just gonna, this is the reason why I haven't stuck this down, is because I knew that I wanted to do this, and because I'm gonna, and I don't like this when I don't like ribbon being on the back of a card without being without dimensionals, because it adds a natural raise to it anyway, and I think it just looks untidy.
Fine.
Oh, okay.
I do it all the time.
Jay's saying it looks fine. Me personally, I don't think. Oh well, I have an issue with it myself. But I don't have an issue with it on your card for some reason, Jay. I think I just have an issue with it on.
You do it.
I think because Jay has a lot of coriander and stuff on his card. It has a lot of garnishes going on. Then I think those little things just kind of like disappear into the card, but when there's not much embellishments going on, I think it just opens it up for some of the smaller imperfections do just shine through a little bit too much. So which is why I'm going to pop this on dimensionals, and then that there is a nice thickness of like one of the things there. I do apologise to anyone new that's coming in that's going, what is he talking about coriander for? Again, it's just something which we did on one of our previous lives, and Jay didn't know what it was called, and he said the greenery. I'll show it to you. Looked like coriander. So parsley. And then we had a whole debate on parsley and cilantro.
Cilantro, yeah.
live on camera with you all. See the fun you have with us. Okay, so I'm just going to fold and burnish this one right here, and then we will then stick this now down onto my card. Yes, Wendy, he does distract the eye with the garnish. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to stick this on like so.
Flourish with your garnish. Garnish with your flourish.
And then we will then finish up with some, look at that. You've got a card with me tonight with bows, embossing, and I'm going to be using the baker's twine, and I'm going to be using gems.
Wow.
I'm using the I'm using the genial gems. Oh, let's not start that again. I'm going to be using these genial gems, and because they are obviously they're not yellow. I didn't really have any yellow ones too much in there. We've got the holiday rhinestones, but I quite like these ones because they're more of a these ones here are quite clear, but they've got a little bit of the glitter inside. I think they work quite nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop one in the middle like that. Then I'm going to go... Actually, I might try some of the smaller ones on either side this time. One can go there. And one can go there like that. And then it's just missing one thing, which is the little duck.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
It's right in front of
I know it is. I was just looking for my... We'll do that there. What's that?
I can't show that,
Yeah.
Lucy.
Oh no, sorry, I just accepted it.
Oh, did you?
I just accepted it. Yeah, I know. See, Lizzie, that's why I get a little bit nervous when I say it, because for some reason that's what pops into my head. I'm so sorry. Alright, and then this here is going to go on in top like this. Like I say, remember this is a case initially from an older stamp set from Stesha, and I've just adapted it and used some more newer things, but the layout is a case from that. And there we have it. We have got card number 2 right there. So card number 1 was that one. Card number 2 is this one. So very, as I said, a very yellow orientated theme tonight, but I think this works well with the chicks. And you've got this lovely, remember you're on the stamp set, you've got this lovely bunny right here, but obviously Jay is going to be doing a colouring masterclass with this bunny, which I'm sure he will show you something in a moment on what you can hopefully, with some of his tuition, can hopefully achieve. So, so good. Thank you so much, Betty, for your little donation right there. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So if you would like to win this card right here, then, and you have said hi in the comments, then you could be one of tonight's lucky winners. So do stay tuned, because we are going to be picking a winner literally in a couple of minutes time. So I'm just going to wait for Jay to finish off putting the last couple of names in, and I'm going to get that ready and have a look. So if you've got any questions, do ask us quickly in the comments. Let us know. Is there anything else you'd like to see from us? What would you like as well? Did you like those though? Are you happy?
I have everyone.
So Jay says he thinks he's got everyone, which is good. So
yes. Ow!
he's just hit himself. I shouldn't laugh. I'm so sorry.
At least you didn't swear. Ow. Very cute cards, Barry. Well done.
Thank you very much. I thought he was talking about me.
No, the chicks and the duck. So yes, so Barris mentioned it. This card I created with the bunny, which we'll try and recreate on the masterclass. I did share on the VIP coloring group a no line coloring, but I'll share it with you as well. But this one we'll do a no line coloring on the same session. I haven't tried my hands on the 2 images yet, but for March 10th, which is tomorrow, I did share this card today on Instagram. This is the watercolor pencils with In the Moment, and the 2 other ones we'll be doing are these. So with watercolor pencils but no water.
Yes, watercolor pencils, no water. Just love using the colouring pencils to colour. So yes, so if you would like to book in for that, there you can still book in for it. And that is tomorrow evening. But if you can't join us live, then the replay is available. We will record it and it's available for you afterwards as well. So if you'd like to learn how to colour that.
And this one is just the off cuts and other pieces I had from the last live, and I just used the layering vellum from the Artfully Composed suite. And cover the entire thing. I quite like it, but let me know if you do.
Rita's just asked a question there. What is a colour masterclass, and is it available in the US? So let's just pop that. I can do this. Oh, look at that. It pops up on screen.
Fine. Yes, the online coloring masterclass are paid classes. We do the live, but you can, if you can't join us live, you can watch the replay. It is available on our website. If you go to our website, mitosocrafts.com. I did share a link, but we'll share it again soon. But if you just go to mitosocrafts.com / online coloring with the U, because that's the UK.
Or just go to matusucrafts.com and you'll find the classes and events tab on there quite easily as well, and then all of our classes will be down there for you. So but yes, so you can, if you would want to try and learn how to, if you want to pick up, watch some tips, and the video will be there for you to be able to then watch time and time again. So if you don't master it the first time round, you can then go, right, I've done it once, I can see where my mistakes were, and then I can then come back in, then you can then try again. And then hopefully with the tips which you'll pick up from Jay, you'll then be able to then transfer those over into a new, into some more colouring. That's the whole aim of it anyway. Yeah. And ask Jay some questions as well, especially if you do join us live. So good. Patty, yes, has just said the colouring masterclasses are amazing. Yes, Patty has
thank you, Patty.
kindly has joined us for a couple of colouring classes as well. So good. So lovely. So we're going to be winning. We're going to be giving this one away right here. So we have got. Was there any last minute names which you saw going in right there? Just out of curiosity.
Yes. It'll be Patty and I think that's everyone.
That's it.
Yeah.
Patty, you are
in.
You are in just in time. All right, so that's good. So let's just do that, and we will then go over to our feeds and we will pick a winner. Where is it? There it is.
There. So good luck, everyone, and let
Who's
the
it gonna
wheel
be?
spin. Who's it gonna be? And the winner is Brenda. Congratulations,
Correct.
Brenda.
Congratulations, Brenda. That there first card is going to be working its way over to you. If you can please email us, barryandj@matusucrafts.com. Pop today's date, 9th of March 2022 in the subject line and your full mailing address, and we'll pop it in the post to you. So, Brenda, if you'd like it, that card is going to be yours.
Yay.
So
That's
good,
great.
excellent. And obviously, anyone who would like to win this one right here, do just come back in and pop a comment in the normal, separate from the live chats, and you'll be in a chance of winning.
Did you
winning
got
that card?
that?
Sorry,
Did you got it?
I didn't, but you could have got it. I could have gutted that. Actually, thinking about it now,
No, that's fine. Sorry. Not that I wasn't watching or anything.
what I could have done if you're making two cards, you could have cut that layer out from the scallop contour dies from this layer right here to actually get the most. So if you're making both of those, then just you can get a bit more out of your card stock.
But if you have loads of cardstock, might as well use them.
Might as well use it. So it adds
Right.
stability to the card
Yes,
if it's
it
not
does.
gutted. So yes, but also again for postage, you can eliminate a little bit of weight, so it could bring it under that next price bracket. So good.
Cool.
I know. So yeah, Patty, that's Minnie who's
Yes.
sleeping. She's got her own Stampin' Up box right here. It's a Stampin' Up box, and she has made a bed out of it. And it's now we can't bin it. So
Luckily,
so yes.
she's not cleaning herself like the last time.
Yeah, last time she was there, giving herself a good old clean and a lick in the background. So yeah, naughty girl, Minnie.
Aw.
So good, lovely. All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you so much for persevering with our technical issues at the beginning. But we do appreciate you all sticking with us and and commenting with us. So thank you all so much. We'll be back with you again, maybe on Friday. For Funfold Friday. Just watch this space. If not, it
Another
will be.
one.
I know we did one last Friday, didn't
we
we?
did.
So it probably won't be this Friday. It'll be next Friday, not next Friday. But we will be back with you again on Sunday evening.
I think
Okay.
it's time to go.
I think it is time to go. We need a drink. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
See you later.
Take care, and thanks again to Betty H for the super chat sticker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.